What's up guys, Bob here from FullHouseRS, and I am here for my first Slayer guide video for you this year, and it's going to be a post-EoC guide for Black Dragons, and not only am I going to do Black Dragons, but I'm also going to compare King Black Dragon to Black Dragons for Slayer experience, charm drops, and profit overall. I'm going to be going through two setups. One I call max gear, which isn't technically max gear because I don't have Archer's Ring imbued or Pernix or any of that, but it's close enough. And the second set would be what I consider average gear for about a player with 70 range. The only problem is the Slayer experience might be a little bit skewed because I'm maxed obviously, so I have 99 range, and there's not exactly a good way to lower it. But it'll be based off the experience per hour I got using the gear I had, so yours will differ if you're not 99 range. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the gear that I have for max gear, and it's pretty straightforward really. I have as alerter, accumulator, and attractor work as well, but I did do no evil, so I'm going to be using that. Fury, that's for obvious reasons. I mean, the Murmur's 0.2% better, but I don't really think it's worth it because I rather prefer a hybrid one. Dual chaotic crossbows, those are pretty standard. If you don't have a dual chaotic crossbows, I would use World two-handed maybe, or Dragon Crossbow if you can get your hands on it for pretty cheap. I know you can buy unstrung ones for probably about 6 mil right now, so they're not too expensive, but dual chaotics are definitely the way to go if you have the dungeoneering tokens for it. Bearer's gloves, I would use Swift, but I kind of prefer gloves that don't degrade. Archer's Ring, I had to get this imbued, but this is pretty straightforward as well. It's the best Archer's Ring in the game right now. Royal bolts, definitely by far the best bolts in the game now. They're on par with Onyx's, and they're way cheaper, so yeah, definitely worth investing in some of them. Full Slayer helmet's self-explanatory. It has a focus sight and the hex crest built into a regular Slayer helmet, so everybody using that should. Now I'm recording this video before the patch to armors, which took place on January 14th, and I don't know if they're actually going to give Armadillo chestplate and chain skirt a range bonus or not. If they do, the experience might slightly increase. I'm not exactly sure, but as of right now, anything that isn't a weapon, ring, or amulet, or cape does not affect the damage output. And I'm also using Glavins, which again don't really make much of a difference. So for the lower level gear, I'm using switch to it here. I'm using Royal D'hide as a top and bottom because it's fairly cheap and it's decent defensive bonuses. Rune Crossbow and Dragonfire Shield Mage. You could also use just a regular Dragonfire Shield or anything like that, but it has nice magic defense. Tokul Zoe because it's free and it gives 1.5 crit range crit, so it's worth getting. Keeping the Fury on as well, because they're not too expensive now. I figured a lot of people would have it, and you could also trade out the Royal Bolts because you can't use them for Rune Crossbow to Broad Bolts because they're the same as Rune Bolts, except they're a lot cheaper. So those are the differences there. Now the pots are also a little bit different for the setups I have. I considered overloads as the max gear setup, which would be, you could use extreme ranges as well, but I have plenty of overloads stocked up, so I figured I'd use them. For the medium gear, I used, also super anti-fires with the max gear, because you're going to have that if you have overloads, so you might as well use it. For the lower level gear, I used regular anti-fire and a range pot, because they're not too expensive. Like I said before, they're about, I think 3 doses are 4.8k each. They might not be worth using, but I definitely see a difference in accuracy when I use potions, so I generally use them as much as I possibly can. On the familiar front, I'm using a Steel Titan for the max gear. again because I'm trying to get the best experience per hour. And for the lower level gear, I'm actually not using a familiar because attacking familiars are kind of not good unless you have Iron Titan or Steel Titan. You could use a Tortoise, I guess, if you go to Black Dragons and bank the bones and the hides if you want. So that pretty much sums it up. Oh, prayers as well. I used, for my high level gear, I used Anguish and Soul Split on both KBD and Black Dragons. And for the regular setup, I did not use any prayers. I actually used Leech Range on KBD, but that was about it. So I'll go into the raw numbers right now. Oh, actually, action bar. So from left to right, this is the action bar I used for both KBD and Black Dragons because range actually only has 12 abilities. And I actually replaced one of them with Rejuvenate. I'm not exactly sure which one I replaced, but I know it's not very useful. So from left to right, I have Piercing Shot, Snapshot, Fragmentation Shot, Snipe, Incendiary Shot, which I actually didn't use in this video, Ricochet, which I used at Black Dragons but not KBD, Rapid Fire, which is your friend no matter what, Rejuvenate, which was only for the lower level setup because you have a shield already, Dead Shot, Unload, Binding Shot, and Bombardment. It's pretty much a straightforward bar because, like I said, there's only 12 range abilities, so it's not needed to have anything on there, really. I also did a test with Momentum at Black Dragons for both setups, but I didn't do one on KBD because I figure any boss, it's always, I mean, everybody's going to be using abilities anyway when it comes to bosses, so I actually didn't test it there. But strictly on numbers, I had max gear at KBD was 55k Slayer experience an hour, which probably is on the low side after Evolution of Combat, really. Maybe it's about middle of the pack, but the charms are great, especially Crimson. You get 4 charms to drop, and they seem to drop Crimsons more than any other ones. And the drops itself are actually pretty good as well. You got U-Logs and Rune Plate Bodies, and chance at Dragon Rider boots and gloves and the ornamental kits. Average gear at KBD is 22k Slayer experience an hour, again with abilities. Very poor, to be honest, but again it's 4 charms a drop, which is pretty good. Max gear at Black Dragons was 84.3k with abilities, and you get 3 charms per drop at regular Black Dragons, and I got 70k an hour using Momentum at Black Dragons. This is the evil chicken lair, by the way. That's where I wound up killing them at. For the average gear on Black Dragons, I got 29.9k Slayer experience an hour, 3 charms per drop, and with Momentum, I got a piss poor 19.9k Slayer experience an hour. And again, that was using regular range potions, a rune crossbow, broad bolts, and no familiar. And my max gear was dual chaotics with overloads, torment, and anguish, and and a Steel Titan. So I'll walk you through exactly how each kill went, so I will see you guys when I get to King Black Dragon. Okay, so here I am at KBD right now. I'm about to summon my Steel Titan, Overload, and I will show you a quick kill. This is using the max setup, and then right afterwards I will show you my low level setup and how fast I kill it this time. So I'll see you guys when that's over. When it comes to killing King Black Dragon, usually with max gear, I'd recommend doing about an ability and then an auto attack, especially with dual wielding crossbows. Try to use as many abilities as you possibly can during the fight. Another big thing is keeping the Steel Titan attacking. You might want to take summoning potions if you really want to really speed up the kills, but I don't think it's really worth it. But yeah, dual wielding is a big thing. Your attack speed doubles, and the damage output doesn't seem to suffer as much as you would think. But yeah, abilities, especially piercing shot, should be after every auto attack. So you do a piercing shot and then an auto attack and then piercing shot or a different ability. You want to be able to space it out so you have about an ability, auto attack ability, or if you're doing ultimates, you can combo your abilities as well. But it's always better to have an auto attack and an ability. Alright, so as you can see, I killed it. It took about a minute to take it down, and for some reason the last couple times I've been coming here, I've been getting scammed out of drops. I can't seem to find the drop on the ground. It's not like they tagged it or anything, because I got 1100 Slayer experience from it. It's very strange. I don't know exactly what happens to it, but I'll go ahead and show you a kill with the lower level setup once it spawns again. Alright, so as I'm fighting this with my crossbow, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the inventory that you should take. I actually on my max gear setup, I actually didn't need to bring any food, and I bought a decent amount of prayer potions, because they're definitely needed if you want to stay here a decent amount of time. For your lower level setup, you're definitely going to want to bring food, because as you can see, I'm getting destroyed right now. It's not exactly the best gear, like I said before, but I mean, it's usable. It's definitely usable. To be honest, I would say probably black dragons are better at lower levels, and at higher levels, again, black dragons are probably better, but I kind of like King Black Dragon more, because one, I'm going for all PVM drops, so I need to kill King Black Dragon as well. But I don't know, I just like the charms and getting a little bit more money from the task. It's not that much slower. Well, actually, it's about 30k slower, but like even pre-EoC, I was doing this instead of Black Dragons, because I just enjoyed it more. But honestly, if you want to go just purely off experience per hour, definitely always go with Black Dragons, because King Black Dragon's never gonna compare to it. Yeah, apart from that, I'll see you guys when I get to the other Black Dragons in the Evil Chicken's lair. Alright guys, I'm standing outside the Evil Chicken lair, and I am about to go inside to the Black Dragons. I'm going to just show you the lower level setup first. It takes quite a while to kill one, so I'll do that one before I start doing my max gear setup, so sit back and enjoy. As you can see, that was one of my faster kills with a shield, but using the max gear method, I'm going to overload, and I'm also using a crystal bow because they're actually weak to arrows and not crossbows. And this is assuming that you don't have super anti-fire. That's why I didn't use it on my other account or other setup. So you can tell how much quicker it is exactly with max gear than it is against the lower level gear. I mean, that took probably about 15 seconds. I think on average when I was killing him earlier, it took 17 seconds. So it's definitely fast. Personal preferences, yet again, I'd probably say purely experience-wise, Black Dragons win, hands down. What I would do, probably King Black Dragon right now, until I get the drops that I need from them. And I just find it more enjoyable, and the drops aren't half bad, and the charms are great, so I prefer King Black Dragon. But yeah, if you're going purely based off experience per hour, Black Dragons are definitely the way to go, and they're actually one of the best tasks Slayer experience wise. They're up there with metal dragons and mithril dragons. Generally, all dragons in general are a good Slayer experience, maybe apart from blues. I don't think blues are anywhere above 70k an hour with momentum, but I haven't tested them yet. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up here, guys. Look forward to another Slayer Guide video. I don't exactly know which one I'm going to do. I generally just do the Slayer task that I'm assigned at the moment. So once I finish this Black Dragon task, it's going to be whatever I get after that. So I'll see you guys then.